Our thoughts now turn to all those in our lives in need of healing, whether it be healing of the body, healing of the heart, healing of the mind, or healing of the soul. If you are keeping someone in your thoughts and prayers this evening, I invite you to share those names out loud now. Barry Jarvis, Bob Gast, Joel Damron, Claire Meyer, Taylor Payne, Cecil Smith, Albert Fremder, and Robin Olson. For all those and many more suffering all over the world, we sing this Mishu Beirach, this prayer for healing.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabe Smollers. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to welcome you all to our service this evening. It's great to see you all here, especially for our special Friday night service. I'd like to invite Barry Cutler up to make a couple of introductions and commentary. Thank you.
I'm honored tonight as a founding member of the congregation to welcome another founding member of the congregation who's our guest rabbi tonight. But first of all, let me say a few things. I have the book on Peter Rigler, and he knows it. Back in the spring and summer of 1971, a bunch of us got together to start a Reformed congregation. It became BethChaim. We were a very enthused, energetic group of people. And we were also a very productive group of people. After our very first service on July 31st in 1971, we had our first baby, and that was Caroline Cutler. Shortly after that, we had another baby, and he's sitting right out there, Michael Mulry, who became a running partner of Peter for many years. And then came Jody Wolf, and then came Peter Rigler. Now, three of them, Caroline, Jody, and Peter, all had fathers who became presidents of the congregation. Our first president was Mike Wolf. I was honored to be our second president. And our third president was Saul Rigler. So I would just like to say how happy I am tonight to greet Peter, and as your mother would have said, Peter, get up here. I won't let you read the book.
In the early 80s, a time where I had a full head of hair, I really did, I was standing with my family and a number of others outside the Wisniew's home. And it was the first time that I can remember building the sukkah. I'm sure I was not building the sukkah, I'm sure I was eating. To think of the first sukkahs that we built here as a congregation. I actually have a memory of my dad building the sukkah. Seriously, my dad helping to build the sukkah. For those who knew him, that would have been surprising. In this Shabbat, we find ourselves in the midst of the holiday of Sukkot. This day has its origin, recalling about all of those places our journey has taken us as a people. Think about this for a moment. Most holidays in our tradition, other than the food components, are about getting there or getting out of there. But we don't often stop to think about the travel. And that's the message of Sukkot, getting there, the journey. Of course, in our tradition, we're never completely there. Just when we think we're a big, important rabbi, we come back to the pulpit or the synagogue of our childhood, and everyone reminds you of the silly things that you did as a child. Thank you for all of those memories. But we realize during the holiday of Sukkot the connection to our world and to each other and to our communities. I learned that as a kid here. I learned that in our sukkah out back that was on the driveway, that in my mind, by the way, was the largest sukkah in the world. I was told tonight it was about the size of a small Buick, but in my mind it was a massive sukkah. If you want to talk about belonging and feeling connected, it happened here for my family and for me. I remember well, and I know some of you will too, carrying the Torahs and parading them down the street. I remember it, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but with a fire truck, and I remember coming in the front door, celebrating this congregation and this sacred home for the first time, coming from what was a church. BethChaim for our family was a home. It was a place where we felt connection and community. Although the building has changed and 100 new little parts have been added, I remember well, actually, I was thinking, staring at your old office door, I remember when the building was being built, coming in with my mom, walking through as it was being built, probably playing where it was being built, but it was Michael's fault, it wasn't mine. Although the building has changed, every time I come back, I am absolutely flooded with memories of this special place. There are sad memories for me, of course, of funerals that we shared and memorials in this sanctuary. And I think, and can't help but think of those in our community who we knew, whose sacred memories are with us. There's so many people that I think of as I'm here tonight, and think of often who are so much a part of my life. And of course, there was a lot of laughter and joy here. I think back to the knishes shared at the Purim Carnival, the puppet show that my brother used to help organize on the second floor, the Ragamuffin Marionette show for Purim. I spent a lot of time in this building waiting, was that I realized when I was going through memories. when both of your parents are president. My mom was financial secretary for 107 years or something like that, I think. And I waited most of the time. Actually, we used to get calls at the house about membership and finances, and it got to the point where I could answer the phone and talk to them on behalf of my mom. I also, of course, think about waiting, being in class with, I was thinking about Mrs. Litt, a class that you were thrown out of with me. I'll out us both for that one. I remember hiding up in the balcony during services with Jen Gilbert as well, with Michael, with a number of others. Beth Chaim for us was a source of pride, and we watched it grow. It was a place where we could find happiness and joy and be ourselves. A big piece, though, of what made this community special was not just the incredible lay leadership, it was the rabbi. The rabbi whose vision and humor and passion for Judaism filled this beautiful place. It's actually very strange as a rabbi that I still hear your voice. I still hear your voice for certain songs. There's still certain things that I think of when I'm in the middle of a service and I think of you. You are my Jewish experience. And I'm deeply honored to be speaking here tonight for many reasons. First, because I was told it was a roast. No, sorry, I learned that humor, of course, from you over the years. I feel lucky that my connection with the clergy and staff of this congregation continues, that I get to share with Rabbi Blum, an amazing colleague and friend. We get to spend our summers together at Camp Harlem on faculty, to know Cantor Binder, whose music and technological inspiration is clearly all over the sanctuary and so much a part of this community. And of course, Anne Berman Waldorf, the second best educator that I know. My wife is an educator, so the joke works well for those. If you knew that, it's very funny, but if you don't, it's not that funny. She has been a wonderful friend and support to me and to my family, and works closely with my wife through ARJE, that's what it's called now, right? And teaching together just last week, which is pretty unbelievable. But tonight, in this moment, I want to talk about you, Rabbi Wisnia, or the Wiz, or the Rab, or I'm not sure what to call you. I'm honored to speak about you because you had a profound impact on who I am as a person. And honestly, I'm not sure that I've ever really told you how much of an impact that you've had on me. First, I found my summer home, Camp Harlem, because of your influence. I think you gave my mom a place to send me during the summers, and she was thrilled. It's the place where I decided to become a rabbi, where I met my wife, and where my children now attend. It was at camp that Gary Zola, who is the director of admissions in Cincinnati, was sent to find me by Rabbi Wisnia, who said, you should talk to one of my kids. And Gary Zola would sort of come around when I was in camp to talk about the possibility of rabbinic school, and he would literally chase me around camp, and you would come up to camp to visit, and you would make sure and say, did you talk to him? Did you talk to him? Did you talk to him? I wasn't actually that interested in talking to him at the time, but it seems to have worked. You pestered me enough that I'm here and I'm a rabbi. And I owe you for that in so many ways. But it goes beyond just that. Let's start with something those of us that know you well know that you are not like other rabbis. When you're at rabbinic conventions and other places, one of the things they ask you is, oh, which synagogue did you grow up in? Who's your home rabbi? And I would always say, it's Rabbi Wisnia, and you never knew who you had spoken to or spent time with, usually with a great smile and a great sense of laughter. And actually, the colleague that I first worked with coming out of rabbinic school was a classmate of Rabbi Wisnia. And in the first conversation that we had, he said, where did you grow up? And he said, the Wiz. Oh, it's the Wiz. So there was a sense of connection there. So that sense of joy is what I think of when I think of you. The laughter, so many jokes. I learned so much about being a rabbi and a mensch from being with you, about handling a challenge with humor. So I think back to my bar mitzvah. I don't know if you'll remember this. Your memory is pretty amazing. But it was lifting the Kiddush cup during the blessing, and you spotted a fly in the wine. These are the things that you remember that the rabbi doesn't necessarily remember. I joked that like the rabbi was doing the backstroke in the wine. Rabbi Wisnia picked the bug out in the middle of the Kiddush and leaned over and said, "Do you want to keep this?" No, I did not. You shared your passions not just for Judaism, but I only learned a few years later that not every confirmation class spends time focusing on the Civil War. You were the same rabbi who, when you entered the gate at Camp Harlem, greeted us with massive hugs, as you did when we came in the building here also, and a huge smile. And you had like a grand buffet that you brought to camp to feed us poor campers when you came. I have learned, and I know that it's not always easy to be the rabbi, and you've been here a long time now. I've always been grateful to feel so connected to you, and I'll extend that, the same wishes and thoughts to your family. Funny enough, your father and Avi will be at my congregation, or the congregation I work at, next week, sharing their story, so I get a double Wisnia dose on the weekends. Over the years, honestly, I felt as nurtured and loved by Judy as I have by you. See, so I'm and of course, I was lucky enough to spend time with each of your kids, and I'm grateful for it. Dov, of course, remains with me as an incredible memory, and he is deeply missed. Rabbi Wisnia, you never hesitated for a minute to give us that hug and to say hello. When I ran into you at what was the Golden Coach or the grocery store, Long Beach Island, and when I mentioned tonight Long Beach Island, he knew exactly what place we saw each other to buy ice cream in 1988 or something like that, which is, I think it's the ice cream part that you remember. That's the thing. At Biennial, you took me to lunch when I was a rabbinic student and made sure I had a place to go. I think that so much of who you are as a rabbi is about your love for the congregation and for Judaism and about joy. I also know now what I didn't growing up. To get a room full of Jews and those who love them to agree that your sermon is perfect or you did a perfect job and said the right thing is clearly impossible. But all the while, you led with a sense of kindness and a willingness to be yourself. And I don't know if you all realize how rare that is in our profession, for someone to stand up and be themselves and be willing to sort of risk themselves in front of and with other people. Several years ago when I started at my current High Holiday pulpit, I'll share one of my disaster stories. I have many if you'd like to hear more. I went up, we were, the Torah service, we have 3 Torahs in our ark. I went up for the first time we pulled the Torah out of the ark at the High Holidays. I took out the Torah. The cantor kept mouthing something to me, but I was like, I'm sort of in the middle of something. I wasn't paying attention at all. We shut the ark. We paraded the Torah around the sanctuary, came back up. I opened the Torah, and she leaned in and said, "Did you mean to take the wrong Torah?" And I have to say, I paused for what probably seemed like an eternity. I'm sure you've had those moments as well. And I had a little thought about you. And I wondered how Rabbi Wisnia would have handled the situation, because of course my mind went straight to humor. And my response, of course, was, we rise as the new rabbi finds the right Torah in the ark. And I will actually say it's one of the things that people remember most about me. And I found that inspiration and moment because I watched you model that when you made a mistake on the bima, it was okay. This isn't a Broadway show. This is about being together for prayer. Your rabbinate has always been about warmth and devotion to community. It's not about an aura of being important, but about being real. And I have to say that every life cycle event, and many that I've witnessed with you, from my bar mitzvah to funerals to baby namings, all of them, you are so present. I think it's probably one of the most amazing things that you do is the sense of joy you bring to those moments. And I have to tell you, again, sort of the inside scoop, it can be really hard to be doing those funerals and life cycle events over and over again. And now that I've been at my pulpit for almost 10 years, I realize how painful and hard they are when you love people, when you know people so well. And the sense of humanity and love that you bring to those occasions is so meaningful to all of us, and certainly it has been to me as well. You've brought so much to this community and our lives over so many years. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me stand on this bima again, where you helped me to become who I am, where I shared, I'm not sure if my consecration was in this room. My guess is it was in the other sanctuary, but my bar mitzvah was on this bima, and my confirmation, and countless other occasions. Thank you for being willing to share the beauty of our tradition, and for reminding us, I think most importantly, to laugh and find joy. My prayer for you is that as you step into the next part of your life, may you go from strength to strength, knowing how many lives like mine you have touched, how you have shaped this community and brought such joy and such love. Amen. Mazel tov. Is this the rebuttal?
The Aleinu is found on page 282. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו, הבל זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבביך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We join together in the Kaddish prayer. We recite Kaddish in memory of all those who have died, of all our martyrs who lie in nameless graves, of one who was laid to rest during the past week, Sylvia Best, mother of Leah Damron, and also those whose yahrzeit we observe on this Shabbat, Edith Miller, Shirley Altfeld, Judith Michelson, Florence Byrne, David Kaiserman, Martin Goldman, Rebecca Perlstein, Michael Fried, Sylvia Polovsky, Florence Pearl, Benjamin Zimmerman, Blanche Pogrob, Morris Schneider, Anna Swartz, Isidore Seidenberg, Lillian Spielman, Mary Kaplinsky, Celia Friedman, George DiGirolamo, Molly Prusak, Sylvia Goodman, Hugo Derlacher, Max Drescher, Sidney Shara. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Page 294. Put it on the screen. Okay. Then I have to open the book. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach hirutei v'yamnich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. וינהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברך הוא. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל Israel ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, we all say. Amen. Please be seated.
You could abbreviate.
Do whatever you want.
The abbreviated version. No. Again, I want to thank the ushers and ONEG hosts and hostesses for their help tonight. Also, a couple of announcements about upcoming events, which you always can check out at BethChaim.org online as well as Facebook. So, as you are acutely aware, Rabbi Wisnia is retiring January 31st, 2019, and we have a ton of events to celebrate his upcoming retirement, including a benefit on November 3rd. It's going to be phenomenal. And flyers about that information is available at the ONEG tables and in the hallway. In addition, we will be hiring an interim rabbi to work with Dr. Blum. And if you have questions about the rabbinic transition, you're welcome to pick up an FAQ that's available also in the hallway and on the ONEG tables as well. In addition, there's going to be a special town hall meeting with Rabbi Wisnia, Rabbi Blum, and our board president, Ken Pogrob, on Sunday, October 21st at 11 a.m. And then we have a Celebrate Simchat Torah event Sunday, September 30th, a 7 p.m. pre-neg and 7:30 service. We also have a Simchat Torah Yizkor service Monday, October 1st at 8:30 a.m. And then a Sisterhood annual membership brunch, 9:30 a.m. to noon on Sunday, October 7th. Guest speaker Donica Moore, renowned TV doctor and podcast host. That's why I said doctor before. Who will discuss the Me Too movement from a personal, professional, and political perspective. And you should be a Sisterhood member to attend. If you're not, time to join. So, all right.
Thank you. Now I get rebuttal. Actually, I'm deeply moved. That was very touching, Peter. Thank you. And I might cry. One never knows. I don't have grandchildren. It's one of the sad things in my life. I never will. And as I say all the time, only half jokingly, that's why I take all of your children, because I get to rot their little minds and make them into little Wisnia clones. I don't quite make them into Wisnia clones. They are their own people. When I see Robin and Mikey and Peter and Gabe's wife, Robin, all these little children who are now adults or who think they're adults, and come back and have wonderful lives, it really does make me feel very fulfilled. It really is l'dor vador. I feel like I have helped raise a generation who has taken Judaism and will take the mantle and carry it into the future. And so I see Rabbi Adina, who is one of my father's little girls, and now she's been polluted by me too, so poor woman. Peter, thank you. That was a sweet tribute, and I'm moved. It's a wonderful thing. I suppose that's the most joyful thing about being a rabbi, is to watch all the children grow up and see them become wonderful human beings, and to feel like I've had a small part in helping them raise them. Peter's family were pillars of the synagogue. Saul Rigler was the first person I met here. He met me at the TV motel and took me to the Golden Coach for breakfast, and then took me over to the what was the school? The school in East Windsor. Krebs, Melvin Krebs, yes, thank you. Took me to the Krebs school, and I met the religious school there, and I came anyway. It was wonderful. This was a wonderful community. It still is a wonderful community. And it is an honor to have been part of it, to have raised a generation, and to now hand it off to the next generation is quite an honor. So thank you all. Thank you. Please rise. Our closing hymn is Eitz Chaim.
Yes.
All right. Because it is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and Tomcheha, all its supporters, mi'ushar, are happy.
And Rabbi, why might we be singing this song tonight?
Well, probably because Sunday night is Simchas Torah, as we say in Brooklyn, or Simchat Torah, as we say. Well, I can't do the Israeli accent, but as we say in Sephardic Hebrew, Simchat Torah is Sunday night, 7 o'clock.
Pre-neg at 7. That's right.
Pre-neg at when? 7. Pre-neg at 7.
I'll be here at 6.
Right, it's a new Torah cycle. So, it is a tree of life. Oh, there is the English. Look at that.
It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. Machazikim b'avetomcha ve'ushar Eitz Chaim hila machazikim b'avetomcha ve'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. Yivarchenu Adonai v'yishmarenu. May the Lord be kind and gracious to us. Yisa Adonai panav eleinu v'yasem lanu I can't even talk, I'm just choked up. Peter really moved me. Yisa Adonai panav eleinu v'yasem lanu shalom. May the Lord lift his face to us and give us all peace now and forever. Amen. Shabbat shalom, Chag Sameach. Peter, come, let's...
Ask you what that was.
The second Friday in October.
We're going to Mexico soon. So.
That's why it's the second Friday.
Oh, look at that. 12. Rosh Shabbat, 5 p.m. Look at that, Rosh Shabbat.
Glad it's on the good.
Did you notice that?
No idea.
She didn't, or...
No, it's very... Somebody from Taiwan because they don't use this script in China anymore.
Pretending.
One side says, I am a dust in ashes. The other side says, no, it was created for my sake. And based on the story, we're dependent on how you're feeling.
We're Jewish. Nice. Okay. Nice.
Hi. Will you take this one, please? I'll just go drop off my towels. This is garbage.
In the sanctuary. Oh. Go and look at every blue book. If it has a silver dot, take it out. It's the wrong book. It goes in the park.
Okay.
Okay. The silver dot does not belong. Okay. Está confundido.
¿Cómo confundido? Yo lo traje con gesto.